Hi, everyone. Let me just pull up the presentation really quick and we'll get started. All right. Yash, could you please confirm that everything's looking good here? All right. We are good to go. So, hi. This is the Gumroad memberships Q&A. So I'm going to take about 10 minutes to go through some of the stuff we announced last week and give some context for that. And then we're going to just go through all of your questions about memberships or anything else to do with Gumroad, the creator economy, whatever you want to talk about. This session is for everyone out there watching. So about me, I'm the head of marketing at Gumroad. I'm also a Gumroad creator myself. I've only done single products before. I've never sold a membership, but I've been very involved in this memberships launch. So I'm going to be able to give a lot of details about how to do that. I am a writer, developer, marketer, do a lot of things. It's fun. So Gumroad memberships. We have been working on Gumroad memberships for over a year. And by we, I mean not me, because I joined Gumroad as a creator back in May and as a team member back in September. So all of the membership, a lot of memberships work had happened before I showed up. And so some things that I thought were just always had been part of the platform were actually membership specific features that have been developed. For example, a lot of the rewrites of tiers, as well as the total re-implementation of how posts work in the last year, are things that we worked on in order to enable memberships. And there were some more recent changes to what customers can do. Customers specifically being able to change their tier and change their subscription duration. And that's where we felt once we'd shipped those things, memberships was feature complete. So we put this launch together, and even though people had been using memberships before we launched it, of course, because we were iteratively shipping these features to make sure they really interfaced well with everything else that we have. It was once we had these few features developed for the customers that we said, okay, this is feature complete. People can use this to really build whatever they want now, and we shipped it. So I want to give just 2 minutes of context on the launch. Gumroad is a company, but it's a company made of creators. So we launched both like a creator. There's a lot of stuff about our launch that looks exactly identical to when you're launching a book or a product or your own membership. And then there's a little bit of stuff that we did that's a little more corporate standard company launch stuff. So launching like a creator, our CEO, Sahil, has a big and engaged following on Twitter. So he really drove a lot of the social traffic on launch day, posting both the day before the launch as well as the day of. And these few tweets got really great engagement. So thank you so much for everyone who participated in this launch in any way. All of your support and enthusiasm, made all this work worth it. We did also launch like a company a little bit. We worked with a PR person to get press coverage. We launched on Product Hunt, and that fortunately went quite well. So even though we are a company of creators, we're still a company. We did a bit of corporate launch stuff. And a big part of preparing for this launch was making sure that we'd built up a bunch of resources that are going to be really helpful for creators who are trying to build their first membership or bring a membership product from somewhere else onto Gumroad, or launch a whole line of membership products. And the first place to go to learn more about memberships is help.gumroad.com/memberships. And what you're going to find here is a video describing how to set up a membership, as well as a description with images and GIF walkthroughs of every single feature that memberships has. It makes it super clear exactly how to use every little aspect of the platform. Another broader resource is the challenges that we've been running. We now have a 14-day product guide and a guide to building an email list. These are by our head of community, Randall Khanna, and we're going to have even more awesome challenges coming up in the future. So make sure that you participate in those. And then the final resource that I want to direct your attention to before we get to the Q&A is the roadmap. So Gumroad has a public roadmap on Notion. and we break it down. It's maintained by Daniel Vassallo, who's our head of product, and it's broken down into the different segments. So memberships gets its own segment because it's something super important. Obviously, we're still working on stuff like making previous posts available to new members, partial refunds on payments, those sort of things. And then our roadmap in general, if you're considering building a membership, is also something to look at, because every single thing we build at Gumroad interfaces really closely with everything else. So for example, we're working on bringing Apple Pay to the platform. And we've been saying, hey, Gumroad's going to have Apple Pay. We've been saying that for a long time. One of the reasons that it's a little longer of a development process is because building it for recurring payments like memberships is much more complex than building it for something that's just a single payment one time. So all of that stuff is in the works, coming as soon as we can get it tested and working properly and out there. And this roadmap is a great place to check to see how progress is going on all of the different stuff that we're really excited to ship. So that is a whirlwind tour of memberships the last week, but a lot of you probably already knew most of this stuff. So what really matters is all of your questions. So at this point, I'm opening it up for questions, and we're just going to, keep going until there aren't any more questions. We have a couple that creators sent us ahead of time, and I'll be sure to get to those. But if there's any active questions right now, that's what we'll start with. So the first question that we got is, are customers charged right away? So this depends on. So the answer is yes. There's a charge, and then it's a recurring charge as well. And you can set the payment frequency that you want with that. It can be once a month, once every 3 months, once every 6 months, or once a year. And so it's just like any sort of subscription. There's an upfront charge just for the first period, and then that charge recurs at the established frequency. All right, so the next question coming in is the renewal rate universal or unique for each customer? So when a customer signs up for a membership, they're signing up at a particular tier and a particular rate. And unless they change their billing frequency, or unless they change their tier, that rate is going to be constant. So one place this is important is if you're offering discounts, because if you discount a membership, then that discount applies on every single recurring payment. And we know things like, a 1 month free trial and such are really useful things to be able to offer. So we do have on our long list of things to build, we have things like being able to offer a free month or offer a discount for a certain period. But at the moment, the way it works is it's going to be, you charge someone, they pay today, and then they pay the same amount at every frequency unless they do something to change it. All right, and we have a question in general from Bruce Jones. Hi, Bruce, thanks for joining us today. So general question, do you have any plans to create some method to sort our product elements library? Once you have a lot of products, videos, PDFs, etc., it's so confusing to find stuff. Yeah, so this is something that's actually on our roadmap. And Yash, could you give me screen sharing privileges back so that I can show this to people? Because it's going to be clearer if I'm not just talking about it. Let's see, share screen. One moment, Bruce, I'm just pulling up the roadmap to show it to you. All right, so you should be able to see here the products and library portion of the roadmap. We're super thrilled to see people building bigger and bigger products on Gumroad. And so we've launched a few things to start making it easier for you to sort of build stuff into your products. For example, automatic page counts on PDFs and descriptions per file are two things that we've shipped recently that have helped me out a lot with teaching customers how to use my own files. But with this public roadmap, you can see we have plans to do stuff like organizing files into folders, giving them thumbnails, showing durations, check marks, just lots of different ways for a creator to be able to build a user experience for your customers that's going to be a lot more detailed and specific. And so, yeah, that's definitely something as people build bigger and more impressive products on Gumroad that we absolutely want to make sure we're supporting. So next up is Tanya. Thanks for joining us, Tanya. I've actually used Gumroad for a client site, professional education firm with tiers, and it's working great. Glad to hear it's working great, Tanya. One hesitations I've had with memberships personally is using it for advisement/coaching because I don't necessarily have assets created that they receive automatically. So you do want to, check our terms of service whenever you're creating something. Unfortunately, because of our banking partners, there is some stuff that we can't support. So what we generally say is if you're doing anything around coaching or offering consulting, that needs to be part of a digital product. What part of a digital product means is not something that we exactly specify, but it basically we want there to be some sort of deliverable. That said, with memberships, unlike single products, in order to launch a membership, you don't actually need to upload any files to get started, because a lot of times people are just using the post feature. For example, if you're sending a paid email newsletter, people are just going to be using the post feature and might not have a file backlog. So with memberships in particular, there is not that requirement that you have a digital file, one or more digital files at the beginning, because we see the use case where people are just doing it through the post feature. So hopefully that answers your question. If you ever have a specific question about what you can and can't sell on Gumroad, support@gumroad.com. If you send us an email, we're going to be able to take a look at exactly what you want to do and let you know if it's something that we think that we can support on Gumroad. Because, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that every creator is protected under the terms of service. So, okay, just a follow up on that. Yeah, people are definitely using Gumroad memberships to create paid communities. It's one of the most exciting things we've seen memberships enable. And it's something that we see people, we see people using Gumroad with a bunch of other kind of no-code tools to build these solutions. And that's something that's really exciting, is seeing Circle and other tools getting integrated with Gumroad. And let's see. Next question looks like it's from Tom. Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, you're making coloring templates and how-to sheets for teachers and kids. That's awesome. Will the feature? Yes. Let's see. So will you be able to give access to each folder for different tiers individually? And will you be able to make folders and add stuff to them? Yep. So first off, already, as Gumroad stands today, every tier you can think of almost like a different Gumroad product. That's the amount of flexibility that you have in terms of the pricing, in terms of the durations, but also in terms of what goes in them. So 2 tiers on the same product can have totally different sets of files. There's no requirement for any sort of overlap or anything. So if you're building a single product, let's say in Tom's case, you're building a product that's just, templates, coloring templates, you can have different tiers, and one tier might be, coloring templates of dinosaurs, and the second one is coloring templates of, you know, trees, and the next one is coloring templates of cityscapes. And those 3 different tiers can have different prices, they can have different files behind them, and they can be bought separately. And then of course you could have another tier that's just like all of the things, maybe at a discount. So yes, different tiers already support different files. In terms of the using a folder for that, you know, that this is not something we're shipping tomorrow. It's on the roadmap, but there's tons of stuff to work on. So what I would say with that is, right now, the best thing to do is use tiers plus the descriptions per file feature in order to give sort of usage instructions on each of these files. And that's going to be the best way to package up different parts of your product at the moment. All right, Eva, thanks for joining us. Will Discord rewards be a thing in the future? I won't say no to that, but it's not on our roadmap, either the shorter public one or the longer internal one at the moment. That said, it may be possible to build that using, we have license keys and we have the Gumroad API. So just because we don't natively integrate something doesn't mean you can't find a way to grant access. A lot of creators have come up with clever custom integrations and workarounds in order to build things that we haven't been able to build ourselves yet. And next up, it looks like we've got a question from Joshua. If you have created video tutorial content as products, can you upload the same files for memberships without re-uploading them? Yeah, so what you can do is in the product creation page, when you click on add a file, there should be 3 options. One is like upload from your computer, another is I think upload from Dropbox, and the third is add from an existing product. So you can add files across different products within Gumroad itself. And we appreciate you doing that because that actually saves us a little bit of storage space on the back end, not having those videos uploaded multiple times. So thanks for asking. Yes, we do support that, and we really appreciate it when you use that feature. And then looks like Tom again. So we don't announce ETAs on stuff. What you can see on the public roadmap when you take a look at it is if something is coming soon, that means that like there is an engineer actively working on it right now. Otherwise, it's, you know, we could make a public roadmap that's 1 million items long for the next like 5,000 years of development. If something's on the roadmap, that means it's a priority. But I would say that looking through our roadmap, we're looking at many months worth of things that we want to ship. You know, Gumroad's a pretty small engineering team, very good at their jobs, but every single feature requires quite a bit of testing and making sure it works with other features. So that's why we don't give hard ETAs on any particular feature until it's out. Okay, so let's see, Coat. Hi, Coat. Do you plan on adding the webhook IP notification to each product tier instead of a global setting on the account? Did not see that on the roadmap. I do not know the answer to that question, Coach. Sorry to say. If you send us an email to support@gumroad.com, then we can take a look at that. I know that we are planning on doing work on a API ping and notifications. So there's definitely work being done around there, and we definitely want creator feedback in order to make sure that we're building exactly what people want. So yeah, send us an email about that. Thanks for asking. Paul. Paul says, I send video files out to my Sword Tai Chi courses. Sword Tai Chi, that is super cool, that I offer on Gumroad. They're sent out via workflows each week over the year. These files are uploaded to the workflow, and should I want to download one of these, I can't do that at the moment. Presumably they're stored somewhere, Would it be possible to access these at some point as the creators of those files? Interesting. Again, sorry, this is a specific detail that I could guess at it, but I'm not going to guess at it live, just in case I'm wrong. So again, this is one of those feature requests that I'm going to have to ask you to send us so we can consider it asynchronously. All right, will memberships offer the feature to redirect to a URL form after purchase, which is available on standard products? That's a good idea, Joshua. I'm not sure. Let's see, what would the use case for that be? It's interesting. I'm not sure about the exact specifics of our intentions there, but that does sound like a good idea to be able to offer just like we do with our standard products. I'm going to switch over to some questions off of YouTube really quick, but keep posting stuff in the Q&A because I'll get right back to it. All right. So what's the difference between member space and a Gumroad membership? Great question. What is member space? Cool. So it looks like member space is a platform for like gating part of your web content. And yeah, I mean, this looks like another option for building a membership site or building some of the other things like a paid newsletter that you can do with memberships. Rather than comment specifically on the difference between that platform, which I'm not very familiar with, and Gumroad, I'll just say that one of the biggest things we're excited about with Gumroad is that with Gumroad memberships is that a lot of creators have been selling single products on Gumroad and selling memberships somewhere else, be it Patreon, be it this member space, be it something else. So we're excited to be able to offer people the option to bring everything together into a single place where you don't have to maintain multiple platforms and stuff to sell your entire line of products. All right, let's see. Any new questions in here? These have been great questions. Thanks so much, everyone. Definitely keep them coming. All right. Let's see. Bruce again. Hello. Any news on improving the customer engagement page? Doesn't always show all the products we're selling or PDFs that are being downloaded. Let's see. Let me check. I don't think there's anything specific in the roadmap for improvements. What you're describing, Bruce, sounds like a bug. Could you give me a little more information about what you might expect to see on that page that isn't being shown? And while you do that, I'm going to turn to another question off of YouTube. If you set a membership limit and someone cancels, is there a wait list where others can be notified if a spot is now open? That is not a feature that, so let me just phrase that again. So you sell a membership. One feature that we do offer is you can limit the number of people per tier or for the whole thing. And what they're asking is, okay, let's say I'm selling a membership. There's like 10 people on this tier. The tier is full. One person cancels. There's now a spot. Is there a wait list? That is not a feature that we currently have implemented or planned. But because one of the nice things about Gumroad is whenever someone buys from you, you get their email address so that you can do your own customer support and so that you can send workflows and posts and whatnot. So in this case, what you could do is you can have like a free waitlist tier where you just collect people's email addresses, and then you could notify those people individually. Another way that you could build this kind of yourself is by using the follow form and having people follow you to get on the wait list. So again, this isn't something that Gumroad, this isn't like a feature that Gumroad has built specifically, but we have tools that you can combine in order to achieve this. All right, any other questions? Oh, didn't scroll down. Okay. Bruce, okay, so product sales, yeah. Bruce, why don't you, I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again here, but why don't you send us an email to support so that we can take a look at your account in particular and see if there's something that isn't showing up there. I totally agree that being able to see what I've definitely looked at my consumption on my book a lot to see if like, you know, what parts of the PDF do people find most interesting. And of course, like anything you'd see, like, you know, it's at the start, tons of people read and then it drops off pretty quickly. But yeah, if you send us an email to support@gumroad.com, we can look at your account in particular to see if there's something that's not showing up. Tom asks if we're looking for users to provide early feedback on designs or features we're working on. So we don't really do a beta program in like any sort of official beta program, but I can talk about kind of how we launch a feature. So once something is built, we want to be shipping stuff all the time, shipping iteratively. So sometimes that means that a feature is going to show up on web before it shows up on mobile or the other way around. And occasionally, especially with payments related features, what we do is we enable them on just a few accounts of really high volume sellers or really high volume creators so that they're able to, so that we're able to test it out kind of in that limited scope. But yeah, frequently we do ship features a couple days or a couple weeks before we announce them, just to make sure that they look good out there in the universe, to make sure that we can do any sort of small bug fixes or adjust the user interface a little bit before everyone sort of notices it and starts using it. So we don't have any particular beta program, Tom, but instead what we do is we ship iteratively, and we sometimes test out features with small groups of creators who sell at high volume. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah, if I'd known that everyone would be so interested in learning more about the roadmap, I would have had Daniel do this instead of me. But yeah, I'm really excited about a lot of the stuff that's coming up on there. Like I said at the beginning, I was a Gumroad creator well before I worked here. So I'm really excited to see a lot of this stuff come out and be able to use it for my own products. Eva says, is it possible to make a mix of real rewards, so like a physical rewards and digital rewards? Yes, so Gumroad has supported physical products for a long time. It's a very small percent of what goes through the platform, and right now memberships are very little goes through memberships. But yeah, you can you can obviously, like, you do have to do a lot of work on your end in terms of fulfillment, but we support the selling of physical products or physical digital mixed products on Gumroad in general. Can you cancel a specific client's membership? Yes, you can. So with your creator dashboard, you're able to go in and you can see all of your customers listed. You can see their email address. You can see when they purchased, how much they paid, what sort of posts they've received. So you can offer refunds, and you can so you can offer refunds if you want to get rid of someone. And Eva says, is it possible to add a reward tier only a few months in the year? Yeah, so again, this is one of those places where you're going to have to use the tools we've built, kind of combine them a little bit yourself, rather than there being like a totally a feature totally dedicated to this use case. There are two ways that you could do this. Way number one is if you're offering a fixed period of time thing, you can create a tier or create a whole new membership product that exists, that is a fixed length. And if you want to offer it to people who are paying members of a different tier, you can either just cross-post all the content like I was talking about earlier, or you can offer them a 100% off discount code to this temporary tier. Another way to do the same thing, if it's more of a one-time thing rather than a for a few months sort of thing, is to just make a single product, and then do either of those two options. So yeah, you can. The other thing is you can upload something to a specific tier and say like, hey, this file's only going to be on here for the next month, so get it while it's here or it's going to be gone. Because you can take down files as well. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in exactly what you can build with this. And rather than trying to build a bunch of specifically enumerated use cases like this, we've tried to build tools that you can combine in all sorts of creative ways to make whatever you want. Cool. So we've been going for a little over half an hour at this point, and there's been really awesome questions. So let's say I'm maybe going to answer any questions that come in the next couple minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. And again, I really appreciate everyone taking the time to join me today. Sorry if I wasn't able to answer your specific question about any particular aspect of our roadmap and exactly what's going to ship when. But I hope that we were able to cover some general information about memberships and how you can use a lot of the broad tools that we've built and combine them in specific and creative ways to build exactly what you need to run your business and to reach your customers with exactly what you want to offer them. All right. So we're asking, Yash just sent me, we're asking if we can transfer this into Gumroad membership. What is this? The earlier question. Which earlier question? Oh, right. Yes. Yes. One thing I did want to cover before the end is a creator before the call asked us if they have a Patreon membership, if they can transfer it into a Gumroad membership. And the answer is it'll take a little bit of work on your part, but absolutely you can. Clearly, we would be thrilled if you did that. Patreon and Gumroad, of course, do have slightly different terms of service about what can and can't be sold on the platform. So make sure always that you check that. But it's kind of obvious stuff like pharmaceuticals, pyramid schemes, that sort of stuff. So yeah, if you have an existing membership on Patreon or any other platform for that matter, you can take all of the content, upload it to Gumroad, or upload any parts of it to Gumroad. And then if you have the option of exporting your customer list or emailing all of your customers, on the other platform to let them know that you're migrating, then that's definitely a step that you should take. And then, yeah, so one thing that I like to recommend to creators who are thinking about switching platforms but aren't 100% sure is see if you can run both platforms in parallel for a little while, which is, I know it's more work in terms of you got to upload files to both places, you got to post to both places. But if you can sort of direct new people onto Gumroad, make sure it works for you, make sure it works for them, and then try and bring everyone over, that can be a smoother transition and potentially have lower churn than if you're just making a hard switch from one day to the next. And that question from earlier did have a few more specifics in it. Would it be okay to provide the content via Dropbox link? Yep, that's absolutely acceptable. And do you need to upload all of the content to Gumroad that was on Patreon or the other platform? That's up to you and up to what your audience is expecting. If you're switching over to Gumroad as a new platform for an existing membership, you can either bring over the entire back catalog, upload it, and this way new subscribers get access to the entire history, or you can make it a new thing and new subscribers only get access to your new posts. That's up to you and what your members and audience is expecting. Great. Let's see. And Joshua says, is there or will there be a way to separate a membership offering from product on the Gumroad pages? Yes, so that already exists. And the way it works is on your Gumroad profile, there's a products tab and a memberships tab. So if you offer memberships and you show one membership and you show it on your profile as kind of like the main membership, you can even send people to, I think it's gumroad.com/your username/membership. And then they're going to be able to see that product directly on your profile. So yes, there is a way to separate out and highlight your membership on your profile so that it does not get lost among all of the products. Eva, I'm hoping that the longer email that you sent with questions is the one that I was just addressing in terms of, yes, it's okay to provide content via Dropbox. It's up to you whether or not you upload a back catalog of content, and just, check the terms of service in terms of exactly what can be sold using Gumroad. But yeah, we would, in general, we would love to have you make that transition. Cool. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Paul. All right. Memberships tab showed all memberships. Yeah, that's true. The memberships tab is specifically designed to highlight a single product, because we want to. A lot of creators do only have one membership or one membership with tiers. If you have a ton of different memberships, excuse me. If you have a ton of different memberships, you can, of course, choose to list those on your product page. And I should note that on your product page itself, you do have options in terms of what order things are present in. You can order your, one moment, just pulling it up to make sure I give you complete information. You can order your products by newest, highest rated, most reviewed, price low to high, or price high to low. And you can also toggle which products are visible on your homepage, on your profile. So gumroad.com/your username. So hopefully using that, if you have a bunch of memberships, you can do that. And yeah, I will pass along the feedback that having multiple memberships on the memberships tab is something that people are asking for. Cool. Anything else? All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll give the thanks outro spiel again. Thank you so much for showing up. Thanks for all of your questions. And thanks for considering Gumroad as a place to use to sell your memberships. So I'll sign off now. And if there's anything else that you want to ask, you can always find me on Twitter, Philip Kiely, or if it's a question specific to Gumroad, like how do I use a feature or when's this next feature coming, support@gumroad.com. We have a great support team who loves answering your questions. So send them on over. So thanks so much, everyone. And this is me heading out.